Next topic is the slime molds. In the last class, we discussed about euglenoids, right? So, after that euglenoids, slime molds. Here, these are the saprophytic organisms. Remember, all of you, the slime molds are the saprophytic organisms. We know there is an heterotrophic organisms are there. Within that, chemoheterotrophic organisms, there is an parasites are there, saprophytes are there, symbionts are there. But see, the slime molds are majority of the cases these are saprophytic organisms. During favorable conditions, engulf the leaves and different plant parts, right? And which are digested and which gains the energy. Then nucleus division takes place inside the membrane. Nucleus division takes place. We know the concept is when the energy is available, that time the cell divisions takes place, right? Here also same mechanism, but here only nucleus division takes place. I'll explain how the parameters are changed here. Mostly grown in damp soils and whatever that moisture soils are there within the damp soils and the moisture soils, right? These organisms are grown, and during favorable conditions, many number of nucleus are formed. See, I already said this is the organism. This is the organism, right? And this organism having the nucleus during favorable conditions, it takes that decaying parts, especially whatever the leaves are there, whatever the plant parts are there, which are engulfed and which are involved in the energy releasing process. That is nothing but we know one of the digestion process and gains the energy. And here, once the energy is available, the nucleus division takes place. Then many number of nucleus are formed. Many number of nucleus are formed. So what I am trying to explain here, inside the cell, many number of nucleus are there. Remember, all these nucleus are covered by the single membrane. All these nucleus are covered by the single membrane. This structure is called as plasmodium. This structure is called as plasmodium. See, this is one of the origin for multicellular organism. This is one of the origin step for the multicellular organism, because before this one, okay, all organisms are having single nucleus except prokaryotes. I am talking about the eukaryotes. See, this is the first organism inside the cytoplasm. Many number of nucleus are there. So the condition is actually this condition is called as multinucleated condition. So this step is the origin step for the production of multicellular organisms. Generally, we know one cell contains one nucleus, and some of the organisms having single cells, and some of the organisms are having many number of cells. Many number of cells means many number of nucleus, and the nucleus, okay, after the nucleus division, cytoplasm division takes place. Actually, this is a single organism. Here, inside the organism, many number of nucleus are present. Inside the organism, many number of nucleus are present. So, this is the plasmodium and nucleus, right? And this structure is called as plasmodium. This structure is called as plasmodium. During favorable conditions, whatever the leaf parts are there, plant parts are there, or decaying parts are there, these parts are engulfed. Once the engulfment is completed, and the organism gains the energy, presence of energy, the nucleus divisions takes place. Once the nucleus divisions takes place, so inside the cytoplasm, many number of nucleus are present, and all these nucleus are covered by the single membrane. All these nucleus are covered by the single membrane. And generally, if we think about the cell wall, in the normal cases, the cell walls are absent. Very direct statement in the normal conditions. Okay, the cell wall is absent, but exceptional case is there. I will explain, right? So that is about that plasmodium. And during unfavorable conditions, there is a fruiting bodies are produced. During unfavorable condition, fruiting bodies are produced. These are nothing but reproductive spores-like structures. These are the reproductive spores. These are the reproductive spores, right? Or spores-like structures. See, this is one of the life cycle. Okay, this is one of the normal condition. Okay, one of the slime mold structure. That slime mold during favorable condition. During favorable conditions, right? Here many number of and all these nuclei are covered by the single membrane. And remember all of you, this structure can spread up to several feet during favorable condition. Okay, this structure can spread up to several feet because continuously cell division takes place and cytoplasm content is increased. Okay, more energy is available. That's the reason why here continuously. Okay, the structure is spread up to several feet. And once the unfavorable conditions are entered, okay, during unfavorable seasons, whatever that organism is there, that organism, right? See, there is an one of that spore structure formation. This is nothing but the fruiting body. This is nothing but the fruiting. This is the fruiting body structure, right? See, what I am trying to explain here, whatever that cells are there, okay, whatever that, this is the cell, whatever the nucleus are there, during unfavorable conditions, okay, the nucleus is covered by the, thick cell wall. The nucleus are covered by the thick cell wall. And remember that cell wall is made up of with the chitin. The cell wall is made up of with the chitin. And these are dispersed by the air currents. So, why these are dispersing? See, once these are dispersed, we know like seed dispersal. Okay, the seeds, once the seeds are spreaded all over the area, the plants grow. Here also, once these are spreaded, once the fruiting bodies are spreaded, okay, during favorable conditions, all over that area, again, these are generated or these are produces the new organism. The spores are produces the new organism. See the difference between this one and this one. See here, this one is the thick cell wall is present. The cell wall is made up of with the chitin. Remember, during favorable conditions, the cell wall is removed or cell wall is broken down. The cell wall is broken down and normal organism is produced. Okay, again it's intake or engulfment of the fruit and leaves and decaying plant parts. Then the life cycle is completed. Again, this is the way the organism continuously produces the more number of organisms. And remember, slime molds, male gametes production and the female gametes production. And see, these are the first organisms. Which produces the zygote. These organisms produces the zygote. And the zygote, the zygote is developed into the organisms. So the first zygote to produce the organisms are the slime molds. Right? That is about the slime molds. Remember, in the slime molds, the main points are here. Plasmodium, many number of nuclei are covered by single membrane. This structure can spread up to several feet. This one is formed during favorable conditions, right? Unfavorable conditions, fruiting bodies are produced, right? And next one, remember the spores, whatever the spores are there, which are covered by the thick cell wall. The cell wall is made up of chitin. That is about the slime molds. Right? Coming to the last one within that protista classification, these are the protozoans. Right? Remember, the protozoans are the heterotrophic organisms. Right? And the protozoans also considered as the evolution and origin of animal cells. Protozoans are considered as evolution and origin of animal cells. Most of the scientists are accepting this concept. From these protozoans, all animals are originated. Because here the cell walls are absent and these are the heterotrophic organisms, right? And some of the characteristic features which are closely related to the animals. That's the reason why here the protozoans are considered as origin cells for the animals, right? And again, these are classified. I thought we already discussed, but not in explanation. And this is a detailed explanation regarding to the protozoans. These protozoans are classified based on the locomotory organs. And all of you remember, the very first type is called as amoeboid protozoans. Means we know the amoeba is the best example. So how the amoeba is moving. We know amoeba, there is a pseudopodia cell generated, whatever that amoeba is there, and this is an arm structure. When it's moving, when the amoeba is moving, that time some of the pseudopodias are developed. The pseudopodias are nothing but false feet. The pseudopodias are nothing but the false feet. So presence of false feet, these organisms are moving. These organisms are moving, right? So locomotory organs are the pseudopodias, and there is an phagocytosis will be taking place. We know why these are moving means to search the food material or to engulf the food material. The organisms are moving. Then the food material is taken into inside. The food material is taken into inside. Once the food material is taken into inside the organism, there is a phagocytosis will be takes place. There is a phagocytosis will be takes place. We know phagocytosis means engulfment of solid food material. The food material is breaking down. The food material is breaking down and produces the energy. That energy utilized by the organism. Right. So here these are the locomotory organs are pseudopodias, and phagocytosis will be takes place. These are live in fresh water, sea water, and moist soils. Okay. So mostly these are grown in the fresh water, right, and moist soils. In certain cases, sea water also which are grown, and they have, see, these organisms are okay, these are having very smooth body. The smooth body is covered by some of the silica cells, right? Outside, okay, there is an exoskeleton is formed, or one of the shell structure is formed. That cell structure is made up of with the silica. Example is the antibody, and example is the antibody, right? And next one is the flagellated protozoans, which are free living, right, and parasitic. These are free living, and some are parasitic, right? Locomotory organs are flagella. Locomotory organs are flagella, which are also causes some of the diseases like sleeping sickness. Which are also causes some of the diseases like sleeping sickness. Trypanosoma is the best example. Trypanosoma is the best example, right? Next one is the ciliated protozoans. Next one is the ciliated protozoans, right? There is an the locomotory organs are here cilia, and these are the aquatic organisms, and which are actively moving organisms. For suppose we know about one of the paramecian structure. There is a short hair-like structure are present. Hair-like structures are present. These are nothing but cilias. These are nothing but the cilias. See, presence of these cilias, these organisms are very rapidly moving. Remember, we know about one of the boat festival. I thought some people are known. We have seen in some programs in television also. Within Kerala, there is a boat festivals are there. That is nothing but boat race. See, a few people are sitting within the boat in a particular row, and the people are having pedals, right? And all the people are moving that pedals in the same direction. All the people are moving the pedals in the same direction, right? And rapidly. See, when all people are moving the pedals in the same direction and very fastly or rapidly, in that case, the boat is moving, okay, very, very fastly. The boat is also moving very, very fastly. Here also, all these cilia are showing coordinated movement. So the pedals are also moving, coordinated movement. Here the cilia are also moving, right? Coordinated movement. So presence of these cilia and coordinated movement, right? All these are moving in the same direction, and these organisms are steering. These organisms are steering towards the food. Finally, the organism engulf the food material. Steering is nothing but moving or rotating. Steering is nothing but, we know that steering, right? Car steering, bus steering, right? So here steering is nothing but here rotating or moving towards the food material, right? And these organisms also having that gullet. See, within these organisms there is a small opening is present. That opening is called as gullet. What is the use of gullet? We know engulfment of the food material. Right? That is about that ciliated protozoans. Example is the paramecian. And last one is that sporozoans are there, and these are very strange and different organisms. Here, locomotory organs are absent. Within these organisms, locomotory organs are absent, and these are diverse organisms. And most notorious organisms. Notorious means which shows that very negative effect on the human beings. Very negative effect on the human beings. Shows staggering effect on the humans, means negative effects. Shows staggering effect on the humans, right? And see what I'm trying to tell. What are that sporozoans are there, and these sporozoans are nothing but some of the malaria causing parasites. Some of the malaria causing parasites. See, this plasmodium is different from what we discussed within that the earlier one. Right, slime molds we discussed. The slime molds, see, presence of many number of nucleus and the single membrane. The structure is called as plasmodium. Right? But we well know the plasmodium. This is the plasmodium. The organism name is here plasmodium. That one is structure name is plasmodium. Here organism name is the plasmodium. See, plasmodium vivax, plasmodium malaria, and different types of plasmodium species, which shows the negative effects on the human beings. Finally, causes different types of diseases like malaria, right? So here the sporozoans, these are not having locomotory organs, right? These are not having locomotory organs, which causes different diseases. Sir, these are not having locomotory organs. Then how these are moving from one human being to another human beings? Remember, there is a vectors are there. Mosquitoes are the best examples. Right? Mosquitoes are act as vectors, and the presence of these vectors, okay, these disease causing agents are spreading from one human being to another human being, right? That is about that protozoans, right? Next one we will discuss about the fungi.